guys, and welcome to the video for Genshin Impact. My name is Ventus SGN. In this video, Bennett for beginners, I'm going to explain the basics of Bennett, how to use him, and how to make him effective for your team. This is a beginner's guide, so if you are a Genshin Impact pro who for whatever reason clicked on a beginner's guide video and you have additional information, feel free to add it in the comments. Though if you are here to nitpick stuff, just stop, dude. It's super lame. Just starting out with Bennett, it's important to know that his role on any team is going to be a support character, and as such, he is one of the most useful characters in the game. He has healing capabilities with his elemental burst, fantastic Voyage, as well as the ability to boost your party's power with the same skill. His element is Pyro, but that doesn't mean he is useless against Pyro enemies, and you shouldn't feel the need to take him off of your team just because you are facing a Pyro type enemy. Now, if you are new to Genshin Impact and you have a new Bennett, the way that you're going to want to equip him is with artifacts that give energy recharge. Energy recharge helps Bennett to get his elemental burst faster so that he can be the most use to your team. If I were starting over the game and I had Bennett as a character, I would equip him with the Exile 4-piece set as soon as I could because of the artifacts bonuses. The 2-piece set bonus grants a plus 20% energy recharge, and the 4-piece set states that using an elemental burst regenerates 2 energy for all party members excluding the wearer every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned with enhancing these artifact sets unless you have 4-star pieces, and only then if you see substats like attack, crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge, or elemental mastery. The elemental mastery is the most important. Another set to be on the lookout for when arming Bennett to be an asset for your team early game is the Instructor set. Instructor artifacts can be obtained early in the game and are the most useful for Bennett as a support character. This is the set that I keep on my Bennett currently at AR 50. This set's 2-piece bonus increases elemental mastery by 80, and the 4-piece set states that upon triggering an elemental reaction, increases all party members' elemental mastery by 120 for 8 seconds. Elemental mastery is a very important stat when you want to deal more damage caused by elemental reactions, such as Pyro plus Hydro for a vaporizing effect or Pyro plus Cryo for a melting effect. Early game weapons to use with the new Bennett, you'll want to give him things like the Iron Sting, which raises elemental mastery, and that can be forged at the weaponsmith, or you can use the Fillet Blade, which can be found out in the wild. These are free to play weapons that anyone can obtain, though Bennett can really benefit from weapons that are only received through wishing. Leveling Bennett is one of the easier tasks in the game because all you have to do is fight the Pyro Regis Vine over and over to get most of the items needed for his Ascension. At Ascension 1, he'll need a single Agnides Agate Sliver, 3 Wind-Wheeled Asters, and 3 Treasure Hoarder Insignias. To get the Agnides, I don't know how to pronounce that, I think it's Agnides. To get the Agnides Sliver, just fight the Pyro Regis Vine, although completing daily commissions can sometimes give you slivers. Wind-Wheel Asters can be found in the wild, most often appearing around teleport shrines in Mondstadt. The Insignias are drops from treasure hunter mobs. At Ascension level 2, Bennett will require 2 Everflame Seeds, and those are drops from the Pyro Regis Vine as well. Here are the Ascensions for Bennett all the way to what you need for level 90. To get upgraded versions of the elemental stones and insignias, you'll need to craft them at the alchemy table. Bennett's abilities are a bit different from the other characters. His elemental skill, Passion Overload, is a charge attack that has levels. The press version is useful and the least problematic, though you get little reward affecting a target with Pyro and getting a couple of energy back in return. I usually only do this to get quick energy for Bennett or other Pyro characters who may be in my party, or if I've already affected an enemy with another element such as Hydro to get a bigger burst of damage with Vaporize. The hold short version is the most conventional because it strikes your target a couple of times, affects them with Pyro, and the charge time isn't that long, so you can time it just right so you won't be interrupted when attempting to execute. I like using the short hold on the Cryo Regis Vine's core to quickly get it down so my team can easily defeat it while it's vulnerable. The long hold of the skill is useless unless you have already unlocked his passive talent Fear Not and you do it inside of the field created by Fantastic Voyage. Otherwise, when you do the long hold version of Passion Overload, you're going to be knocked back, and that sucks. Fantastic Voyage is hands down the most useful elemental burst in the game across all characters in my opinion. Along with allowing Bennett to successfully execute the long hold version of Passion Overload, this ability creates an AoE circle that heals your active character in single player or all characters in multiplayer who stand inside of the AoE. The healing is only up to 70% of characters' health, and this is a continuous regeneration effect. If characters' health is above 70%, they get an attack bonus that's based on Bennett's own base attack. Base attack is determined by character level and weapon, so make sure that whatever weapon you have on Bennett is one that has the highest base attack stat. The duration of Fantastic Voyage is only 12 seconds, and after that the healing and attack buff effect will end. Fantastic Voyage is also a pretty powerful pyro attack as well. Later on in the game, when Bennett gets to be around level 60, is when you will want to start working towards permanent artifact sets for Bennett as support. There are a few sets to choose from, including 5-star Novelist set, 5-star Crimson Witch of the Flame set, 5-star Gladiator, 4-star Exile, and 4-star Instructor. None of the sets I just named are bad for Bennett and are actually very beneficial, but out of this set I think that either Novelist or Instructor is the way to go. This is where Bennett really gets to show how useful he is to your team. This game's main damage mechanic is Elemental Reaction, which is a number that scales off of each character's elemental mastery. When you trigger an elemental reaction like Vaporize or Melt, you do increased damage. This damage is dependent on your elemental mastery. When equipped with the Instructor Artifact 4-piece set, Bennett can raise all party members' elemental mastery by 120 for 8 seconds after triggering an elemental reaction, which means if you use a character like Kaya to hit an enemy with Cryo, then use Bennett to hit them with Pyro, both are going to have a higher elemental mastery, so the next elemental attack is going to do increased damage, even more if the attack crits. Using Bennett's Elemental Burst to trigger Elemental Reaction that causes the Instructor set to activate its buff will give you a double buff, the attack bonus from Fantastic Voyage and the Elemental Mastery increase from the Instructor set, resulting in your next elemental attack doing larger than normal damage. In this example, I'm using Bennett and D-Luck to knock the Cryo Regis Vine down, and I'll first show you the difference in damage with Kaya's elemental skill used after Bennett's burst, so there is no Instructor set buff, and then before Bennett's burst, so there is an Instructor buff. In the first example, without the Elemental Mastery buff, the damage is only about 9k from D-Luck's Elemental Burst. But in the second example, with the Elemental Mastery buff, the damage from D-Luck's burst is double. So clearly there is a superior advantage to using the Instructor set on Bennett. There are other ways of further increasing your damage through artifacts and other party member contributions. Please see my D-Luck 100,000 crit video for more details. In-game weapons that you'll want to find and use exclusively for Bennett are the Lion's Roar for the stat of attack and the skill Bane of Fire and Thunder, which increases damage against opponents affected by Pyro or Electro. Then there is the Festering Desire for the extra energy recharge, and the Skyward Blade. The Skyward Blade is probably Bennett's perfect weapon because of the 5-star base attack bonus, the energy recharge, and the skill Sky Piercing Fang, which increases movement and attack speed as well as increased damage, all from using an elemental burst. Currently on my Bennett though, I use the Lion's Roar because I haven't been able to pull the Skyward Blade. If you found this video helpful at all, you can show me your thanks by hitting the thumbs up and subscribing to this channel for Genshin Impact gameplay and information. Down in the comments, let me know what your perfect team is with Bennett.